What's up, Ride Secrets family? Quick confession before we get into the good stuff. Last month, I took my bike to 3 different shops for the exact same oil change. Same oil weight, same filter, part number, same me, same bike. $145, $220 for 20 minutes of work and $40 in parts. That's when it hit me. Some shops aren't just fixing bikes. They're testing wallets, and most riders don't even know there's a game being played. So today, I'm putting the playbook on the table. 8 shocking scams mechanics use to rip riders off, and the exact words, checks, and habits that shut those scams down cold. By the end of this, you'll know how to spot the tricks, ask the right questions, and keep your money for miles, not markups. Stay with me all the way to scam number 2. It's so sneaky even experienced riders fall for it. And do me a solid, drop your bike and model year in the comments. I'll reply with one hyperbility ripoff to watch for on your platform. If you like your wallet thick and your oil clean, hit subscribe and ring the bell. We drop rider first, money-saving truth every single week. Let's roll. Scam number 8, the phantom oil change. Here's how it plays out. You roll in for a quick service. They tell you it's done before you've finished your coffee. The drain plug looks wiped, the filter looks smudge-free, and they hold up a pan of black oil like a trophy. Except it wasn't from your bike. They topped off your old oil, wiped the evidence, and charged you full freight. Most riders never check. Oil lives inside the engine, and a clean plug can fool your eyes. But here's your counterpunch. When you drop off, politely say, "I'd like to watch the drain and see the new filter go on." Totally fine to stand back. A good shop won't flinch. If they say insurance won't allow it, fine. Ask them to bag the used filter with your name on it and save the empty box from the new one for your records. If they still dance, mark your old filter with a tiny paint dot before you go. If the dot returns with the bike, you didn't get a change. You got theater. Parts at home cost you $30 to $42. A fair shop charge is $90 to $120. Anything north of that for a basic drain and fill is a trust tax. Don't pay it. Scam number 7. The brake fluid emergency. This one preys on your fear of not stopping. You come in for something simple. You leave with a "we tested your brake fluid and it's contaminated." It's a safety emergency speech. They swirl a cloudy sample in a cup like a horror prop and quote, "You won a 52 to 54, a flush." Here's reality. DOT 3, 4, and 5.1 brake fluids are hygroscopic. They absorb moisture over time, which is why most manuals call for a fluid change every 2 to 3 years, not every 2 to 3 visits. Color alone is not a diagnostic. Slightly darker fluid can still be within spec. Spongy lever feel, water content above limits, or visible debris are reasons to act. Your words at the counter. Show me where you pulled the sample from on my bike. And can you test water content in front of me? Shops with integrity have a simple moisture tester. If they can't produce your master cylinder or caliper and they won't test, you're buying fear. A fair price for a flush is $60 to $90 total. And by the way, if you have a BS, ask whether they cycle the pump during the bleed and how. If they say we just pumped the lever fast, cool, thanks for the red flag. Plan the service elsewhere. Scam number 6, the chain replacement con. The scare line is always the same. Your chain is stretched beyond safe limits. It could snap any minute and lock your rear wheel. They hold up a slightly dry chain and talk like they're saving your life. Meanwhile, what you really needed was a 10-minute adjustment, a lube, and a pat on the seat. Chains wear gradually. With basic care, street riders see 15 to 25,000 miles before a swap. The ways shops cheat are subtle. Measuring slack with the bike on a stand instead of weighted. Misreading the marks, using a worn caliper for the twin-type and stretch test. Or over-tightening on your last visit so the chain wears fasten, selling you the solution. Here's your move. Asked them to measure free play at the midpoint on the lower run with the bike weighted. You want 1 to 2 inches depending on your model, and the manual tells you the number. For stretch, choose a span of 20 pins and measure center to center. More than 1% elongation. Okay, start planning. Less than that, not an emergency. Inspect sprocket teeth yourself. FIV, they're sharp and hooked like shark fins, replace as a set. If they're squares holdered and the chain rolls smooth, this is lube your chain and set slack, not open your wallet. A fair installed price for chain and sprockets is $200 to $300. $400 to $600 is markup theater. Say it with me, measure, then decide. Scam number 5. The air filter crisis. The show is always dramatic. They crack your airbox, produce a blackened square of paper, and announce your engine is suffocating. Then they charge you $100 to swap a $15 consumable you could have changed in the time it takes to make toast. Here's the truth. A uniform gray film means the filter is doing its job. A filter caked solid, physically damaged, or soaked in oil. Replace. Foam and cotton elements can be cleaned and re-oiled properly. Paper elements are throwaways, but they're cheap and fast. Your counter? I want to see you take the filter out of my bike. Look for uniform dirt, not random oily blotches on a pristine element. That's the magic trick. Hold the paper up to a bright light. If you see nothing through it and it's been a while, sure replace. If you're riding in dust, shorten intervals. If you're not, most street bikes go 12 to 15,000 miles or more. And yes, you can do it yourself. 10 minutes, a Phillips screwdriver, $20 saved times however many years you ride. That's real money. Scam number 4, the coolant flush fraud. They love to say your coolant is acidic. That electrolysis is eating your engine from the inside, and you need an urgent premium flush. They whip out a pH strip like a science fair and sell you a $200 to $300 flush that cost them $25 and 45 minutes. Reality: most manufacturers call for coolant changes every 2 to 4 years, or 24 to 36,000 miles. Color can vary. Brand chemistry matters. The real signs of trouble are brown or rusty coolant, visible particles, gelled fluid, or overheating. Your counter. Let's review the maintenance schedule for my model. What's the interval? Is the coolant discolored or contaminated? If they insist on premium long life that isn't approved for your engine, you're paying for poetry, not protection. If you do it yourself, use the right formula for your bike. Some manufacturers specify silicate-free coolants or premix. Drain, flush with distilled water, refill, burp the system, top off the reservoir. Keep the invoice and date for your records. Shops charging over $150 for a basic drain and fill need to show their work. Scam number 3. The spark plug racket. Your plugs are fouled. That's why your fuel economy stinks. We need to swap them now. They show you a plug that's a little sooty and hit you with a $200 bill for what might be a half-hour job and $8 to $15 parts. Modern plugs, especially iridium, regularly hit 15 to 30,000 miles. Slight carbon on the tip is normal. Reasons to replace: misfires, hard starts, cracked insulators, hammered electrodes, oil-soaked threads. Reasons not to panic. A plug that's doing exactly what a plug does after years of combustion. What you say: please remove my plugs and show me each one. Point out the failure. Is the ceramic cracked? Is the electrode rounded beyond spec? Are the gaps out of tolerance? If they can't show you specifics, you're buying reassurance. If access on your model is gnarly, yes, some bikes require lifting the tank and fairings, then you're paying labor, not a miracle cure. Combine this job with other tank-off tasks to save time and money. Scam number 2. The valve adjustment scare. This is the big technical boogeyman. Your valves are out of spec. If you ride it, you could bend a valve, drop a seat, destroy the top end. We must adjust today. The price. Anywhere from $800 to $1,200 because your model is difficult. Here's the truth. Valve checks are scheduled maintenance often every 15 to 25,000 miles. Many engines go multiple checks without needing an adjustment. Valves drift gradually. Tight clearances can make starting harder. Loose clearances can make noise. But surprise emergency adjustments, when you're not at the interval and the bike runs perfectly, should raise eyebrows. Your move is calm and simple. What's the specified clearance range for intake and exhaust on my engine? And what did you measure per cylinder? Please write the values on the estimate. A good shop will show you numbers that match the manual's chart. If they can't or won't, get a second opinion. And know the difference between shim, under-bucket systems, time-consuming, often fair to charge several hours and screw and lock nut adjusters faster. Cheaper, realistic prices for a full check and adjust are $400 to $600 at most shops for many platforms. Higher isn't automatically a scam, but it better come with transparent measurements and a clear explanation. No measurements, no money. Scam number 1. The diagnostic fee trap. The velvet rope of service bays. Before we can even look at it, we need to run comprehensive diagnostics. 1 F50 to 300 up front. Yes. Scan tools matter on modern bikes, but many problems still start with eyes, ears, and a multimeter loose battery terminal, blown fuse, stuck brake switch, kinked vacuum line. Your counter at drop-off, authorize no more than 30 minutes for initial diagnostics. Call me with findings before proceeding. If I approve the repair, do you credit that diagnostic toward the job? You're setting boundaries and killing the blank check. Also ask, what's the first test you'll run? If they can't outline a basic flow battery and grounds, fuses, codes, continuity, fuel, and spark, you're paying for guesswork. Be polite, be firm. A shop that respects you will respect your limits. Let's hit a rapid-fire list of red flags and power phrases, because these alone can save you hundreds. Red flags first. We can't show you your old parts, they're already in the trash. No. Bag and tag your parts. They're yours. It's already done. 5 minutes after drop-off. That was fast. Your model is especially difficult a line used for every model ever. Our premium fluid is required by whom? The manual or the margin? We found 3 more urgent issues while it was up, but you reported 0 symptoms. Now, your counters. Please bag and return all replaced parts. Show me the measurement and the spec from the manual. What will this cost if I don't do the add-on today? Pause, there, call me with photos before proceeding. If you can't show me the problem on my bike, let's skip it. Say them calmly. Watch the tone of the room change. Quick note for the good ones, because yes, there are a lot of honest, hard-working mechanics out there. If you've got a shop that communicates clearly, shows you parts without being asked, quotes fairly, and stands behind their work, shout them out by name in the comments. Good shops deserve riders who show up on time, pay their bills, and say thanks. We are not anti-shop, we're anti-shady. Now let's put everything into an action plan you can screenshot and actually use. Step 1. Know your intervals. Your manual is your shield time and mileage both matter. Step 2. Document. Keep a simple maintenance log with dates, miles, jobs, and part numbers. It protects warranty conversations and boosts resale value. Step 3. Ask to watch the critical steps: oil drain, filter swap, spark plugs out. Seeing is saving. Step 4. Keep your parts bagged, tagged, in your bin. Step 5. Get a second opinion on anything over $300 or anything drenched in drama. Sleep on it. Call another shop. Step 6. Learn the basics. Oil and filter, pads, chain clean, lube and slack. Air filter. You knock out those 4, and you just removed most of the upsell oxygen from the room. Let's dig a little deeper into each scam with real-world checks and phrases you can say out loud without starting a fight. Back to the phantom oil change. If they won't let you near the lift, say, "No problem. Can you please put the drain pan on the side and leave the used filter in a bag for pickup?" Also ask for the exact oil brand and viscosity used. Get it on the invoice. If they refuse to specify, you might get the cheapest bulk barrel. If your bike calls for Yasso MAMA2 and a specific viscosity, insist on it. After pickup, check the sight glass the next morning. New oil looks honey amber, not coal black. Slight tint is normal if your engine had miles, but black as midnight instantly. For brake fluid, here's a quick at-home test. If your lever feels spongy and you've never changed fluid in 3 years, it's probably time. If the lever is firm and the reservoir fluid is clean, you can plan it, not panic. If you ride track or mountains, shorten the interval. And ABS systems benefit from periodic cycling. Ask how the shop handles that. "We hook up the scan tool to cycle the pump" is a better answer than "we pump the lever and pray." Chains and sprocket sleds get more practical. Park the bike, throw on your gear, sit on it, and have a friend measure slack at the midpoint of the bottom run. Then step off and compare the number with the bike on the stand. Notice how it changes with suspension loaded. That's why slack is measured weighted for many models. If a shop sets it guitar string tight with the bike in the air, they're wearing out your output shaft bearing for a future "we found a leak" at the seal cell. Also, peek at alignment. Snail cam marks are a rough guide. A straight hedge or chain alignment tool tells the truth. Misalignment eats chains for breakfast and presents as premature stretch. Fix the cause, not the symptom. Air filters. If your airbox is a pain to access, combine the job with plugs or coolant service to save labor. If they pitch a high-flow filter, ask what tuning adjustments are required. Running an intake or exhaust change without a fueling correction can cost you power and fuel and engine health. If you ride dusty roads, consider a pre-filter or foam option you can maintain repeatedly. And never oil a paper filter. You'll choke it. Coolant. If they insist on their premium magic juice, ask for the manufacturer's spec and whether it's silicate-free and aluminum-friendly. Many bikes require specific chemistry. Mixing types can gel and cause blockage. DIY, use distilled water only. Tap water brings minerals you don't want living in your cooling passages. Open the bleed screws, if your model has them, and squeeze hoses to burp bubbles. Watch the temp gauge on the first ride and check the level again after the engine cools. Plugs. If your bike is coil on plug, ask how they'll remove the coils. Yanking by the wire is a coil killer, and they're not cheap. Gapping iridium plugs often is not necessary out of the box, but torque matters. Too loose and they can work out. Too tight and you risk damage. If a shop changes plugs, ask them to write plug brand, type, and gap on the invoice. That's how grown-ups do it. Valves. If a shop says your valves are out of spec, but you're 10,000 miles from the check, and the bike starts hot and cold, with no drama, pause. Can you show me the measurements per cylinder and the spec chart from the service manual? If they wave their hands, you have your answer. If they do the check, and everything is in spec, expect to pay for the check. That's fair, it's time. But ask them to record each clearance, both before and after. Those numbers become your roadmap at the next interval. Diagnostics. If you call ahead with a symptom, frame it clearly. Cranks but won't start after sitting 2 days. Intermittent dash reset when hitting bumps. Horn and signals died after I washed it. Clear symptoms invite logical sequences. When you arrive, set a budget boundary. Please cap diagnosis at 30 minutes and call me. If they refuse, you just saved yourself a frustrating afternoon. Let's talk about the soft add-ons that quietly grow invoices. Shop supplies fees of $15 to $40 every single visit. Ask them to itemize or cap the percentage. 3% of labor is reasonable. Hazardous waste fees for spark plugs and air filters. No oil disposal fee. Sure, that costs something, but a spark plug is not a biohazard. Environmental fee plus shop supplies, plus waste fee, you're paying 3 times for rags. Just ask, politely, can we waive the redundant fees? I'm happy to pay for oil disposal. You'll be surprised how fast lines disappear. What about the good news? There are honest tells, too. A good shop calls before going over estimate. They send you photos or a quick video of the exact issue. They give you your old parts without being asked. They note your VIN and update campaigns or recalls. They put spec numbers on paper. When you find a shop like that, treasure them. Arrive on time, be clear, don't haggle every penny, and bring donuts occasionally. Relationships save money. Okay, recenter. If you're getting value from this, smash that like button so YouTube pushes it to riders who need it. And type logs in the comments if you want my printable maintenance log and a one-page service interval cheat sheet. I will drop it in the community tab. Let's recap the 8 scams in one breath so it sticks. Phantom oil changes you never saw. Brake fluid emergencies judged by color, not moisture. Chain stretch measured wrong to sell kits you don't need. Air filter crises for 10-minute jobs. Coolant flush poetry for clean systems inside their interval. Spark plug panic for normal deposits. Valve adjustment fear at the wrong mileage with no measurements. And the diagnostic fee trap that bills you before anyone turns a wrench. Your counters. Ask to watch. Keep your parts. Demand numbers. Set limits. Read the manual. And learn for simple jobs: oil, pads, chain, air filter. That alone cuts most upsells off at the knees. I want to hear your story. Which scam have you seen in the wild? Drop number 8 to number 1 with what happened and how you handled it. Best story gets pinned and shouted out in the next video. If this saved you money or even just gave you the confidence to say, "Show me," hit subscribe. We're building a rider-first community, where the comments are as valuable as the video. And for the diehards who ride all the way to the end, a few bonus landmines to avoid. The free inspection that always finds $600 of safety urgent work. Free isn't free if it fishes for fear. The premium fluid package required for your warranty, ask for the page number. The "we already started" line used to bulldoze your consent. Remember, you control the authorization. If you ever feel pressured, say, "Print my estimate, I'll think it over," then leave. Grown-up shops won't chase you into the lot. You bought freedom on 2 wheels. Don't rent it back one invoice at a time. Learn the basics. Ask the right questions, and keep the power where it belongs with you. Comment power if you're taking control of your maintenance this season. Share this with a buddy who always gets the "we found a few more things" call. And if you want to be scam-proof for life, jump into my DIY maintenance playlist next. I will walk you step by step through the 4 jobs that break the upsell cycle forever. Eyes open. Wallet closed. 2 wheels down. I will see you in the next one.